Okay, this is Go Math 7-6, and today we're learning to use algebraic expressions. So up until this point, we've been learning a little bit about what algebraic expressions are, what is a variable, which is essentially a number we don't know yet. So we use a letter to kind of take the place of that. So now we want to know, how is this useful in real life? That's really the ultimate question. So if I had something like, well, my situation, I am younger than my sister. So I am 2 years younger than my sister. So let's put my sister's age. My sister's age is S. And I put S in quotations because typically we write it like italicized, and I can't really do this. We're going to call my sister's age S. Now, you guys don't know my sister, so you have no idea how old she is. But if I know that my sister's age is S, that's some number I don't know, right? But I know I am 2 years younger. So my age is S minus 2. So we have S minus 2. Now I can save that little piece of information. And however old my sister is, if my sister is 38, 38 minus 2, I'm 36. If my sister is 47, 47 minus 2, I'd be 45. And you can see this algebraic expression will work the same way over and over and over again. And that's really where it comes in handy. So this number is going to change. That's our variable. So we have a number that we don't know that could change over time. But the relationship between them is really what's important. So what does that look like in our book? So today we're going to talk about Rafe's flight. Now Rafe's flight from Los Angeles to New York took 5 hours. He wants to know the average speed of the plane. So we know that d would be the distance. Write an expression to represent the average speed of a plane, use a variable to represent the unknown quantity, and let d represent the distance traveled, right? In units of miles. So distance in miles. So I know that whatever the distance is, well, if I'm going 60 miles an hour and I travel for 5 hours, I would take 60 miles an hour times 5 hours. So I don't know what the distance is here, but I do know he traveled for 5 hours. So whatever d is, whatever the distance is, 5 hours. And from there, we can get our answer. Kiana, what do you need, bud? Okay. Get your stuff. Okay, so we're going to look at Rafe's flight from Los Angeles to New York, and it took 5 hours. So whatever the distance of the flight. So we're going to let d represent the distance traveled in units of miles. Now, we're writing an expression to represent the average speed of the plane. So if I travel 60 miles an hour and I travel for 5 hours, I would find, I know how far I went and I know how long I traveled, or how fast I was going and how long I traveled, so that I can get my answer. So in this case, I know whatever the distance was that he had, the d. We don't know what it is, but we know it took him 5 hours to get there. So we're going to take the total distance and we're going to divide it by 5 hours. So again, if I said I traveled 300 miles and I traveled for 5 hours, 300 divided by 5, I was traveling at an average speed of 60 miles an hour. Same idea, d divided by 5. Now I don't know what the distance is, but I know it took him 5 hours. So if I then move, and I'll just change this here, to the next part of the problem, if I have, let me rewrite this for you, d divided by 5. So the distance between Los Angeles and New York, we found out to be 2,460 miles. Well, now that I know what d is, I took my chunk, right? I can solve this. So d becomes 2,460 divided by 5. And when I do that, 2,460 divided by 5, 5 goes into 24 4 times, that's 20. Bring down the 4, bring down the 6, 5 goes into 45 9 times, into 46, excuse me, 1 left over, 5 goes into 10 2 times, and I know that they were traveling at an average speed of 492 miles per hour. 492 miles per hour on a plane for 5 hours will get you from New York to Los Angeles. All right, so let's look at just one more. If I took this concept right here, and I know that Joanna makes and sells candles online. She charges $7 per candle, and shipping is $5 per order. So, if N represents the number of candles that a customer buys, every candle is $7. So if I took $7 and multiplied by the number of candles, so 7 times the number of candles plus $5 per shipping. So I have this concept. Now every candle, that's the part that's going to change. But every one costs $7. So again, if I buy one candle, 7 times 1 is 7 plus 5 will give me $12. That's my order. If I buy 3 candles, 7 times 3 is 21 plus 5. That gives me $26 for my order. So N can change. And for every one, I'm going to have another $7. So $7 multiplied by the number of candles plus this $5 for the one-time shipping fee. So if I'm using algebraic expressions, I can take a number that I don't know yet, I substitute a letter in its place, and from there, I can create an expression that will allow me to solve problems later. Take this expression, and if they tell me then that N equals 5, I can plug that in as a substitution for N and solve this.